Well, there's massive gatekeeping, that's for sure. Um, I don't know that we'll ever change that from CoinMarketCap, because they're owned by Binance. We can try all we want. They're going to do what they want to do. I think they're shooting themselves in the foot if they keep it up too long. And I wanted to take 5 minutes and for people who haven't heard me explain how massive of a project, this is going to explode. You really need to hear what I'm about to say. So every blockchain in history who tries to get some market cap out of Ethereum, they launch completely empty. And we'll take Matic as an example. They launch an empty blockchain that everyone who wants to go over there you have to wrap all your different tokens and bring them in. And then when you get over there, you realize there's not very much liquidity. The pools are very small compared to what they are on Ethereum. And, the biggest liquidity providers, some of the whales, they're not comfortable bringing all their, 50% or 60 or 80% of their economic energy out of Ethereum and planting it over on Matic. It just doesn't make sense. Everything's wrapped over there. To ever think that, Matic could turn into the next Ethereum and just everything from here forward is going to be wrapped, it's just silly. It doesn't make any sense. Not to mention the admin keys that they have that they could just take everyone's money. But launching empty blockchains is stupid. And this is what every blockchain has done over and over and over. Projects that want to launch, when they launch on Ethereum and they say, well, there's nothing in Matic, they have an option. Gather up all the liquidity providers and wrap everything through and then make the new pools, or just launch, in the case of Binance and some other chains, just redeploy a new contract onto the new blockchain. So now you're running two separate contracts with two separate price discoveries and stuff. And it's just a big, giant mess. Now, Richard Hart, what he's doing is completely different. And it's the most brilliant thing to ever happen in cryptocurrency. I believe that it could actually save, if we think that we're in a bear market, I actually think it could completely turn it around into another 2, 3, or 4 year bull market. Because here's what's happening. A complete net state copy, all of Ethereum existing with a new name, it's called Pulse Chain, it's 4 times faster. It's significantly cheaper to transact. And all the liquidity pools already exist. They're already there. All the token pairings, Shiba Inu is already going to be paired against Pulsecoin now. It used to be paired against Ethereum. You're going to have AMP token already paired. You're going to have Hex already paired. Everything already has its ratios. Everything's already paired. Now, some people say, well, the supply quantity is way too much. And let me give a brief example why that doesn't matter at all. It means nothing. Imagine if Ethereum was the dollar network, the dollar bill network. And everything you did, you transacted with a dollar bill. And let's say Pulse Chain was the penny network, and everything you did, you transacted with a penny. But let's say the liquidity pools were identical across the two chains, but fixed for the supply difference. So now something that cost $1 on the Ethereum chain or the dollar chain now costs 100 pennies over on the Pulse chain. The same thing. It's the exact same thing. It just requires more of them. So even though we have, the OA comes in with $14 billion worth of, and now there's a whole ton of tokens, trillions of them. It doesn't matter. It just requires more of them, just like 100 pennies to $1. It's no different. Now, we have heard some developers that are very passionate. They're ready to come over. They understand the project. We've also heard some developers that say, well, we don't really understand. We're on Ethereum right now. We don't really want to be on anything else. Okay, but they're in for a very good awakening when they realize that all their customers, including themselves and their founders who have billions of dollars worth of tokens on their own, in their own wallets, when they have those same tokens running on a different chain, they can't stop themselves from not doing something. They have to do something. Now, where does the value come from? Because you can't just clone money. You can clone tokens. You can't just clone the value of them. Well, it's very simple, actually. So the ratios are already set on the Pulse chain. They're going to exist. The ratio of this token versus this coin, it's just a number. Okay, it's there. It's on a liquidity pool. It's not worth anything, though. It's just a ratio between two inanimate internet objects. Until the first guy who says, I'm going to wrap some Pulse coins and I'm going to bring them into another network, likely Ethereum, and take a whole bunch of these Pulse coins, billions and billions of them. I'm going to create a liquidity pool. And I'm going to pair it against something else that already has value, such as USDC. Maybe we will see a USDC pairing. We're likely to see a DAI pairing, an Ethereum pairing. Eventually, somebody's going to figure out how to bridge into other networks, I feel, besides just Ethereum. The Pulse coin itself will be bridged. That's one of the minimum viable things required to run a network. It's going to be bridged and paired against something that already has value. And the moment that's done, and I believe that the price of whoever decides to do that, because it starts at 0, but somebody's going to have to do that eventually. I believe that's going to define the price somewhere probably close to 0.00017. 0.00017. The moment they do that, Pulsecoin has a price, which means everything in the entire blockchain has a price. Because everything's paired against that thing that has a price, which is called the Pulsecoin. When that happens, everybody's wallets, whoever used Ethereum or is using Ethereum now, has those, and they have tradable value. Now they have an option. They can say, well, even if you told them, oh, that's a scam, that's Richard Hart, he's weird, I don't want to use that Pulse chain, it doesn't make sense to me. But oh, by the way, you have economic value over there, you might want to go dump them. Okay? Everybody's going to do something. They can't just sit on their hands knowing that they have value and not do something. So they're going to come over, but watch what happens next. The first time, well, they may like it immediately, or they may have the intentions on dumping. But the moment they take their token and they say, well, I'm just going to dump them all for Pulse, well, it pumps the price of Pulse first off. However, they just realized, wow, that went really fast. This feels a lot like Ethereum. It looks like Ethereum, but that went through really fast. And wow, it cost me like fractions of a penny to do that. Maybe I should stay here for a minute. What are my other tokens doing? And there's certainly going to be some volatility, but they're going to experience a faster version of Ethereum that's significantly cheaper. And if they tried to dump everything, that's cool. It's just going to pump the price of Hex. And the moment they try and take their Pulse coins and go back to the bridge so they can swap them back for Ethereum, they're going to get hit with a massive Ethereum fee. The swap fees, who knows what they're going to be. $200, $500, $60 to do a swap. They're going to experience that again, and they're going to remember, wait a minute, let me go back to the Pulse chain because everything's already there and it just makes sense. This is what's going to happen. But then you're likely to see a lot of value from Ethereum, just like all those other empty blockchains got. 5%, 10%, whatever the number, start migrating from Ethereum and coming over to the Pulse chain. We're going to see price parity very, very fast, I feel. And the developers on Ethereum, they're not going to be able to ignore it. In fact, they're going to have economic value over there as well. Their contracts already exist. Everything's there waiting for them. All they have to do is just tell their users, hey, Pulse chain's kind of cool if you guys want to go play around with it. This could be the biggest thing in DeFi since the creation of Ethereum.